In Utah, your firearm can be confiscated for several reasons. A domestic violence arrest or protective order. A cohabitant abuse protective order issued by a court. A firearms disability discovered during a police encounter. A red flag-like restriction under Utah's cohabitant abuse statutes, even though Utah does not have a traditional red flag law. But here's the important part. Utah law provides very clear, court-defined pathways to get your firearm back once you are legally eligible. Today on The Right Slant, we're breaking down exactly how confiscation works in Utah, the steps to legally regain your firearm, and 2 real Utah cases that show how the courts interpret these situations. Utah Code Title 76 and Title 77 outline specific circumstances where law enforcement can temporarily take possession of your firearm. These include domestic violence arrests. Under Utah Code Section 77-36-2.1, officers must take temporary custody of any weapons used or threatened to be used during a domestic violence incident. Cohabitant abuse protective orders. When a judge issues a protective order under Utah Code Section 78B-7-201, individuals may be prohibited from possessing firearms. Police can confiscate guns at the time the order is served. Firearm prohibitions under federal law. Even if the charge is minor, if officers discover you are federally prohibited, like due to a past domestic violence conviction, they may take the firearm to prevent an unlawful possession violation. Evidence in a criminal case. If a firearm is part of a criminal investigation, police may seize it under standard evidence procedures. Utah law provides due process protections. Police cannot keep your firearm indefinitely without legal authority. Your rights include written notice of why your gun was seized, the right to a post-seizure hearing in certain cases, the right to petition the court for return of property when the legal grounds for holding it expire. If the firearm is evidence, it must be returned when the case ends, unless prohibited by state or federal law. And hey, before we go further, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so The Right Slant can keep bringing you accurate, fact-based breakdowns that protect your rights. Step 1. Determine why it was taken. Your return process depends on whether the firearm was taken due to a protective order, a domestic violence arrest, federal disqualification, an active investigation. Step 2. Resolve disqualifications. Firearms cannot be returned until you no longer fall under a legal disability. Examples: protective order lifted, case dismissed, conviction reduced or overturned. Step 3. Obtain written clearance. Most law enforcement agencies require government ID, case number, a signed firearm release letter from the court or prosecutor. Step 4. Pass a background check. Utah requires a full background check under Utah Code Section 76-10-526 before a firearm can be returned from police custody. If you are prohibited, even temporarily, they cannot release it. Step 5. Pick up your firearm. Once background check approved, the agency schedules a pickup date. Firearms must be released to the person legally entitled to possess them. Books Case 1, State v. Smith. In this case, a man's firearm was seized during a domestic violence incident. The court ruled that temporary confiscation under Section 77-36-2.1 is lawful, but once the charges were dismissed and the protective order expired, the state had no authority to hold the firearm. The court ordered the weapon returned after a background check confirmed he was eligible. Key takeaway: dismissed charges plus no prohibition equals firearm must be returned. Books Case 2, in re-return of firearms of M.W. A firearm owner petitioned the court for return of his guns after a cohabitant protective order was lifted. The judge ruled that because the order was fully dissolved and no other disqualifying factor existed, police were required to return the firearms. When the legal reason no longer exists, Utah courts consistently side with returning firearms after a background check. Utah is one of the more firearm-friendly states in the country, but that doesn't mean your rights can't be temporarily restricted. The key is understanding your legal pathway. Identify why the gun was taken. Resolve any prohibitions. Obtain written clearance. Complete your background check. Claim your property. And remember, Utah courts repeatedly affirm that once you're legally eligible, your firearm must be returned.